The public contracts procurement program for the 2020 financial year begins with commitments taken to bring sanity in the sector and show effective execution of contracts and assess the sector in 2020. The ordinary session as of right of regional councillors draws near in the absence of the development of competencies to ease their functioning. Tonight, the 7:30 News investigates on the way forward. The inhabitants of the Northwest region reassured of their security as military steps up strategies to clean the region of all forms of violence, abuse and wanton killings. Good evening and thanks for joining us. Those were the headlines of the 7:30 News.
Each of us must comply with the measures that have been taken.
The public contracts procurement schedule for the 2021 financial year is on the way to ensure the effective execution of public contracts in the country for economic development. The launch by the minister delegates at the presidency in charge of public contracts, Ibrahim Talba Mala, sets the stage for reforms that will check corruption in the sector, guarantee the maturity of projects and their application within stipulated deadlines. Ewan Epole reports that an evaluation of programs for 2020 was made.
The public contracts programming for the 2021 financial year, launched simultaneously in the other 9 regions of the country, was chaired in Yaoundé by the minister delegate at the presidency of the Republic in charge of public contracts.
From January to April, we have ended all the system of programmation, contractualization, and award all the contracts so that we can be sure that the money they have received, they have put it at the benefit of the population.
For the 2020 financial year, a total of 6,328 contracts were programmed for a cumulative amount of over 506 billion CFA francs. As regards ministerial departments, out of a total of 484 contracts programmed, 346 were signed. Ibrahim Talba Mala also underlined that 237 contracts, some of which were already awarded, were later cancelled, while 118 contracts were awarded from the Special Solidarity Fund instituted by the head of state. The 2021 Public Contracts Award will be done through the Cameroon online e-procurement system.
The 2021 finance law will be focusing, amongst others, on local transformation and input substitution for a rebound in the country's economy. This will not only cushion the effects of the coronavirus pandemic on small-scale entrepreneurs, but it will also enable local producers benefit fully from their efforts. In continuation of our series on the priorities of the 2021 state budget, Constantine Baum reports on how vital the innovations are.
From this to this, and even this, from the farm to the processing plant, and from there to different sales points without any breaks in the demand-supply chain. It is the ideal local transformation scenario which the state is hoping to see in 2021, backed by the finance law. Moves to all imports are clearly defined with increased excise duties on some products. The idea is to give more impetus to local enterprises involved in the activity to up their businesses with the hope that their high costs will serve as a deterrent. Moreover, companies dealing in agriculture, fisheries, and livestock will benefit from a wide range of tax exemptions. Machinery and materials which will boost their production will not be subject to taxes. From seeds to processing equipment, the list is long. Meanwhile, the local pharmaceutical industry is expected to grow thanks to a number of measures to be enforced. On another front, certain inputs requested for by local enterprises will not go through excise duty procedures, even though they have the right to under other circumstances. At the heart of these actions is stimulating local manufacturing through a credible and strong import substitution package, making the domestic economy more competitive, is the expected result.
Still on priorities, the supply of water and energy, which is a preoccupation for residents in the Adamawa region, is being addressed by the state. The Minister of Water and Energy Resources, Gaston Elundu-Esomba, on a working visit to the region, has been assessing the realization of major projects which stand at 45%. Nueya Ben Mudika tells us more.
The working visit of Gaston Elundu-Esomba was to evaluate the immediate and effective implementation of the head of state's emergency measure to save the population from acute and prolonged power outages in a dry year when only 2 billion cubic meters of water got into the reservoirs of the Lagdo Dam, being half of the required quantity. On the field, 45% of work has been achieved towards the construction of the platform, mounting and the connection of the generator sets and the distribution of energy.
The head of state decided to move a part of the power plant from Ahala to Ngaoundéré. This is effective. You have just visited the first engine, and you are sure that in the next few days we'll have the first megawatt in the network.
The minister equally went to see the generator set, transformer and accessories, which are well secured. He also visited the Vina water production plant. A visit ended with a closed-door working session to harmonize the different aspects of the project so that the plant from Ahala goes operational before mid-January 2021.
Barely a fortnight to the celebration of Christmas, there is an influx of items that announce the feast, accompanied by songs and special programs on media outlets. Another clue that Christmas is near is the merrymaking in some neighborhoods and the intense traffic in the town of Yaoundé. Beatrice Law Samba moved around looking out for Christmas signs and says it was not tough to find one.
The atmosphere around town is a warm one due to the weather, but also as a result of the great spirit shared at this time. Family and friends start talking about presents. I'm getting gifts for my children, she says. It is their season. You can't go into a supermarket without noticing all the special Christmas decorations. The Christmas jumpers, back in fashion. Shops have finished stocking anything actually required now.
We had our stock delivered in time, and we have more than enough to offer buyers.
And as huge buys begin, we have never seen this much toys and Christmas decorations go down the shelves and off to homes. While enjoying a ride through the streets, we can hear the Christmas music on the radio. Hard not to notice the decorations have gone up, the street lights on to make decoration complete. Jolly merry, minus the traffic of course, which becomes the most complicated mission on planet. That too is a clue. Christmas is around the corner.
Purchasing items for a memorable celebration of the birth of Christ is not a given for many Yaoundé city dwellers, inasmuch as the items sold are quite enticing and give the desire for a dream Christmas. Limited budget is a hindrance. Beatrice Ngum reports that this year Christmas will be more of thanksgiving than lavish spending.
At the central market in Yaoundé, Christmas gadgets are beckoning on buyers, who for now are few and far between.
Most people who are coming now are those who already have their revenue.
Yet, for those already doing Christmas buying, some say they are modest in spending.
I intend to spend 15,000 just to make like fried chicken, something like rice, fried plantain, that's all.
On the other side of the aisle, there is this class of role hanging on the fact that a colorful Christmas will mean spending lavishly.
200,000 francs to buy something like drinks, everything so that children can enjoy.
A budget for Christmas is not the ideal for all. Some say Christmas will be more of Thanksgiving than merrymaking. They survived 2020 amidst the scary pandemic.
This year is very special because we have a lot of pain about COVID-19. That's why we want to thank God that we are alive. We just try to do our best in our level to have a good feast.
Whatever the case, Christmas is on everybody's mind, and the thought of how to sponsor the Christmas program is the headache to deal with now.
And now on to culture. The new team in charge of the Cameroon Musical Arts Corporation, SONACAM, will have to expand the collection points for royalties destined for artists. It is targeting between 2 and 5 billion CFA francs, with focus on private media houses, brewery companies, telephone mobile operators and bars. The new management is also poised to recover up to 7 billion CFA francs that have been unpaid. Emmanuel Avemnier tells us more.
Music, that universal language understood by all, but which few pay the rights for usage. The situation in Cameroon is more preoccupying, with close to 7 billion CFA francs lost yearly in royalties.
I'm going to restructure collection from small users, about 300,000 bars in Cameroon. If each of these bars pays only 10,000 francs, it will come up to about 3 billion francs. We can do a collective convention with all the private media houses on an amount which is proportionate to what they earn, so that payments can come in.
2 to 5 billion CFA francs is the target amount to collect annually by the new team.
Create a department for perception online, and we are hoping that in the March session of Parliament, the Rome Treaty, which will permit Cameroon to collect payments directly from YouTube and from the Organization of Intellectual Property Rights, will be ratified.
Using one's works and not paying the rights is criminal in Cameroon, and SONACAM has got the law to bring defaulters to book.
The Cameroonian Penal Code, in its section 327, punishes with imprisonment from 3 months to 2 years, and with fine of from 20,000 to 500,000 francs.
All this is expected to better the lives of close to 4,000 musicians wallowing in misery in the country.
The Director General of the Cameroon Radio Television has described the victory of one of his collaborators as board chair of the Cameroon Musical Arts Corporation, SONACAM, as a gain for CRTV. Mr. Shandongo was speaking during an audience granted to Ate Francis today at the CRTV Production Center in Balatou. Here's an excerpt of the SONACAM board chair talking to our reporter, Emmanuel Avemnier.
Invited me to congratulate me on this victory, and he tells me that he considers this as a CRTV victory. He has promised to accompany us so that we can make Cameroonian artists happy. There's good news, which I will announce to the artists very soon, and it's thanks to the general manager. Before going in for this election, I asked for his authorization, and he did give me his blessing, and I want to thank him because I didn't waste that opportunity.
As we announced in one of our top stories, the regional councils and regional assemblies in Cameroon will go functional on December 22 after the holding of the first ordinary session as of right. This at a time when the devolvement of competencies are yet to be completed for their effective functioning. In our investigative report tonight, Ebenezer Akanga probes into the issues that hinder the application of decrees and texts signed on the transfer of competencies.
Section 17 of the General Code of Regional and Local Authorities stipulates that the state shall devolve to local authorities the powers necessary for the economic, social, health, educational, cultural, and sports development. But for local authorities to exercise the competencies transferred to them, a number of decrees and texts have to be signed, fixing and precising the competencies. Many of such decrees and texts have not yet been signed, even as the regional councils and regional assemblies go functional. A reliable source in the Ministry of Decentralization and Local Development has revealed that out of 20 ministries which have to submit draft decrees and texts, 19 have already done so. Out of the 19 draft decrees and texts submitted, 12 have been studied in the Interministerial Committee for Local Services and 6 forwarded to the Prime Minister's Office for further study by the Permanent Secretariat of the National Decentralization Council. According to the source, all the decrees and texts will be ready by early next year to enable the regions function fully.
While awaiting the first ordinary session as of right, 2 post-electoral litigations have been submitted at the Administrative Court of the Centre Region by traditional rulers. The petitioners are requesting for the annulment of the regional council elections in some divisions of the Centre Region. Sidonie Jopmani reports on what their queries are.
The petitions submitted at the Administrative Court of the Centre Region concerning post-electoral litigations of the Regional Council election are those of traditional rulers of Ekudu in the Briketeri as well as in Inyong Eso division in the Centre Region. In the first petition submitted by traditional rulers of Ekudu, the petitioners are complaining over the disqualification of their candidates list by the Ministry of Territorial Administration. In the same vein, His Majesty Noah Ulama Philippe, in his petition, requests the annulment of elections in the Nyong and So division.
In the Nyong and So division, His Majesty Noah Ulama Philippe, in his petition, requests the cancellation of election because, according to him, elections in that area were corrupted.
After the submission of petitions by different political parties and traditional rulers, the Administrative Court has 40 days to organize hearings concerning post-electoral litigations of the Regional Council election.
In a third headline, the people of Dongamantung and Menchum in the Northwest region have been urged to muster the courage to stop separatist actions in their area. The exhortation was made by the commander of the 5th Joint Military Region, Brigadier General Nkavale. This in a bid to restore peace and tranquility in the region, as Eric Langmia Wolfer reports.
Brigadier General Cameroun told the population of Ndo that the defense forces will do everything to bring back peace to the area that has been under secessionist invasion for the past 3 years. Ndo is one of the areas in Dongamantung division that has been greatly affected by the ongoing socio-political crisis. Schools this academic year have been functional, and the population is working towards putting an end to the ghost town operations. He has requested the secessionist fighters to drop their weapons or face the defense forces.
My soldiers will track them and make sure that they are captured and neutralized wherever they are hiding. No Odeshi can protect them from our bullets.
He has also appealed to the people to collectively rise up against secessionist activities in the area.
To be bold enough to face those terrorists. In Ndu they say lockdown. We went to Ndu, the population came out in numbers.
The commander of the 5th Joint Military Region, Brigadier General Cameroun, has also been to Furawa, Isu and Way villages in Menchum Division. These areas have witnessed a drastic drop in secessionist activities, and many displaced persons who fled the violence are gradually returning home.
Over in the Southwest region, 31 councillors of the Kondo-Titi Council have adopted the sum of 800 million CFA francs as next year's budget, which will be used to address security concerns, amongst others. The council session was presided over by the mayor, Kenneth Nanji Ene, who used the occasion to resolve to develop the area. Iwane Epole has the details.
The mayor of the Kondo-Titi Council, Kenneth Nanji Ene, while presenting the budget to the 31 municipal councillors, indicated that the 2021 budget is balanced in both revenue and expenditure at the sum of 800 million CFA francs. The draft budget voted by the councillors has witnessed an increase compared to the 750 million CFA francs voted last year, and it's expected to help enhance meaningful development.
The transfer resources, we take the decentralization law, which gives us more transfer resources and competencies. The budget definitely has to increase because of the special statutes that have been enacted into law. We're going to be using it on the education, water, electricity and health.
The divisional officer, Matthew Abolo, who is the supervisory authority of the council, appreciated the mayor and urged the councillors to double efforts in developing the Kondo-Titi council area.
The wearing of face masks in public places will be mandatory until further notice.
The number of COVID-19 infections keeps rising due to the laxity of the population vis-à-vis barrier measures. There are today 793 active cases after the country recorded 25,000 infections. Health professionals say it is time for all to measure the danger. BrigadeAntiSardinard and his guest, Dr. Joseph Fokam, tell us more from the Public Health Emergency Operations Center. Hello, Borden.
Good evening to you, Esther Kmer. As you say, the number keeps increasing on a daily basis. Those tested positive for the coronavirus, given that as of last Friday, December 11, we have noticed of recorded 25,087 Cameroonians who have been tested positive for COVID-19, with 793 active cases existing so far, as you rightly said, with 443 Cameroonians who have died of COVID-19, with an impressive recovery rate that stands so far at 95%. With our guest, Dr. Joseph Fokam, tonight, we try to explain to Cameroonians what they need to know about these figures. Good evening to you, Doctor.
Good evening, Bowden.
What do Cameroonians need to know about these figures?
Absolutely, Bowden. When we look at the reverse epidemiology of what we have, actually like COVID cases, it is true we have an impressive recovery rate yet, but however, we realize that for the previous weeks, we have been recording some new cases. That's why we have already crossed the threshold of 25,000 positive cases. And also, even though we have a case fatality rate of less than 2%, we have also been recording new cases of mortality due to COVID-19. And we have also observed during this period that, be it during wedding ceremonies, be it during burial ceremonies or any gatherings, people no more use their face mask. And for this reason, those new positive cases that we have recorded, some of them, unfortunately, have died. And that's why we really want everybody to go back to barrier measures. Why? Because COVID-19 is not yet done, and the other bad news is we are starting to get new strains from the Western world, and without those safety measures, who knows, we may also import those new strains, which might be quite detrimental in our context.
Thank you so much, Dr. Joseph Fokam, for being our guest this evening. With well over 700 active cases existing, if we want that number to reduce, we must simply respect the barrier measures. Back to you, Esther Kmer.
Thanks very much, BrigadeAntiSardinard. It is vital that we protect ourselves and the population. On to this parliamentary tour, the CPDM member of the National Assembly for the Ja and Lobo constituency in the South region, Honorable Mathurin Germain Bindois, has drilled 2 water boreholes in his community. The elected representative has placed his mandate on fostering education and improving on the livelihoods of his constituents through electrification and agricultural inputs. Details in this report. A promise kept by the CPDM member of Parliament for Ja and Lobo to provide potable water to his constituents, Honorable Mathurin Germain Bindois inaugurates the water boreholes intended for school-going children in Evelesi 1 and Evelesi Bian on the outskirts of Sangmelima. An admonition which had come from the Development Association of Evelesi. The lawmaker committed himself to better the conditions of the population and to save the pupils from waterborne diseases. They now have access to the precious liquid which gives life, water. The local and school authorities applaud the initiative of Honorable Mathurin Germain Bindois, who is not in his first parliamentary gesture. He has been involved in the past in the building of administrative buildings, in schools, as well as the electrification of Ngulemakong, much to the elation of the population. To strengthen the national campaign for the promotion of the culture of cybersecurity, the Ministry of Posts and Telecommunications has designated some goodwill ambassadors for cybersecurity. They will raise awareness on the responsible use of the social media. They were chosen today during a ceremony presided over by the Minister of Posts and Telecommunications, Minette Libom Lilikeng. Yoti Kalelisonge tells us more.
Region stopped functioning.
7 goodwill ambassadors henceforth charged with keeping Cameroon cyberspace secure. They all give an undertaking to work diligently.
As a journalist, I have access to the microphone. As an artist, I intend even to do a song. As a writer, of course, to do poems.
We engage ourselves as Cameroon National Youth Council
to go into the different subdivisions, the divisional level and the region to sensitize more of Cameroonian young people.
At NEFTEC, we are going to use our platforms. We host workshops in secondary schools, in universities and in primary school. So we are going to use the platform as an opportunity to teach the young ones on how to use social media effectively.
The choice of the Goodwill Ambassadors for Cybersecurity in Cameroon is strategic.
They have fame, they have talent, and they can impact the population. Those ambassadors will share what is the legal frame about cybersecurity. They will share good habits to protect yourself against cyber criminals.
A mission they are expected to accomplish, after which their 2-year term may be renewed.
And now on to today's editorial. Workers of the Cameroon Petroleum Depots SDP have been urged not to relent their efforts in the management and success of the structure. This was during a Labour Medal Award ceremony in Douala, chaired by the Minister of Labour and Social Security, Gregoire Owona. Lawrence Kikishi has a summary of the event in the following report.
The medal award ceremony comes at a time when the SCDP is facing some challenges, particularly as the Sonora refinery in the southwest region stopped functioning. Be it the general manager of SCDP or the Minister of Labour and Social Security, these officials hailed the staff of SCDP for courage to manage this difficulty. The staff representative on his part explained that they are grateful to management for giving them a listening ear each time they have complaints, promising to be of good conduct. Management is ready to solve our problems, be it health, salaries, or to ameliorate our daily work conditions. That is why we consider management as a partner and not a rival. The 158 workers took turns to receive their labor medals, 71 in bronze, 61 silver, and 26 in gold. Efforts were made at the event to respect COVID-19 prevention measures. On that score, friends and family members of the recipients were asked to wait with a bouquet of flowers and to give them to their recipients only out of the hall. The National Petroleum Storage Facility offers specialized training to its staff as the need may be, besides providing health insurance and paying an extra salary every year, causing some to work extra hard and be rewarded as they leave it during the Labour Medal Award ceremony.
And that advertorial on the SDP brings us to the end of the 7:30 newscast, in which you mainly heard that the Public Contracts Procurement Program for 2021 is underway, with commitments taken to bring sanity to the sector and to ensure the effective implementation of contracts. More news comes up at 8:30 p.m. with Adon Bala. I'll be back tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. God willing. Stay tuned to our programs on the CRTV and CRTV News, and stay protected from the coronavirus. Good night.
In this connection, we should avoid stigmatizing